I don't know anything about that movie. I just heard that it's actually meant to be surprisingly good, given its subject matter.
I kind of get that, I think. I don't know. It's like, sometimes the shocking movies can be either really bad or really good, I think.
Well, that's the thing with that. I have mentioned the disturbing movie Iceberg to you before, right?
I don't think so, no.
I haven't?
Maybe you have and I forgot about it. Maybe I blocked it in my memory.
The trauma. So it was this iceberg that I came across.
Oh, the iceberg thing with all the different... Yes, never mind,
Yeah.
you tell me, yes.
And
I thought you meant the movie was called Iceberg.
No. So it was like this chart that had all these disturbing movies on it. And what I kind of learned was that, with the exception of maybe Tier 6, which is more documentary-esque stuff, which they're still disturbing documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
History
is disturbing.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's like Faces of Death, I think, is one of them, which was basically footage of people dying in certain ways. Not like snuff movies. It wasn't you like killing someone. It was like actually seeing someone get hit by a car or that kind of stuff. That was released in the 70s and apparently did huge in the box office. I guess because people hadn't seen that kind of stuff before. It was like a brand new thing. But anyway, the point is, once you get to Tier 5 and onwards, that's when the quality of the movies really drops. Even a lot of movies from Tier 4 aren't that good either. Their Tier 3, though, has some respectable movies in it. Probably Martyrs. You know Martyrs at all?
Don't think so, no.
It's a new French extremity movie. It was released in... I don't know when. It was like... it was either 2007, 2008, that kind of time. And basically the premise of it is that... Like, we open up with this this girl, like this younger girl, she's like, I don't know what age she is, maybe 12 or 13, that kind of age. She's like been beaten like so crazy, like, and she's got cuts all over her, and she's running away in panic away from this like big building. And it turns out that she's been locked in there and being abused and everything for ages. And so she's brought into this like, because we don't know who her parents are and stuff, she's brought into this institute like where like, you know, the kids can be. And she befriends another girl there, who's very nice. And it's part of it is working through her trauma. Now, there's a time jump, and once you get to her adult years, that's where her trauma really starts taking a turn and stuff.
Okay.
But it is actually a great movie. It's a disturbing movie. And the thing is, okay, here's this thing. So I'm so jaded, apparently, when it comes to these movies and like their gore or disturbing content.
Yeah.
I watched Martyrs knowing that people had fainted and vomited at the like screening of it. And I watched it and I was like, this movie isn't that bad actually. There's
I
that
think
much
it's because you knew what was coming.
So I go, oh, Mom, who's like so like trooper with me, why don't you watch it with me and give me your thoughts? And the movie ended and she was like, I never want to watch it again. Not because it was a bad movie or anything, but apparently it tapped into a childhood trauma with her.
You were telling me that before.
Yeah,
actually.
and that actually ended up really upsetting her. Which actually, that kind of then got me fascinated about things that upset people.
Oh, sweet. Sorry, what?
Oh yeah, you can work away at healing.
I took your advice. I actually picked up 3. If you didn't notice, I picked up 3. I picked up 3 healing and then
use the hyper armor. Yeah, that is good. I think that's a good combo because it stops you from taking knockback and also reduce the amount of damage you take, which is good. That's a good combo. Oh yeah, you just used that. Oh, you might kill her if.
Shit, I'm gonna avoid her. Let me just step away and run it for a bit until that disappears.
I don't know if it disappears though.
It does.
It does? Okay.
Be a minute.
I thought it disappeared after you used it a couple times against enemies.
Oh, maybe.
Well, it's not the worst thing in the world if you go in with like not full health. Like you can get a bunch of health from using the Dark Crystal on your man. We just need enough that you can kind of take a little bit of damage.
I might be able to heal. She's so far from me. I might be able to heal actually.
But the point is, that got me fascinated because, like, for instance, I've told you about the movies that have disturbed me, right?
And I killed her, yeah. Okay. Ah, shit! I didn't have.
And like, there are movies that are rated.
I didn't have time to get
Yeah, it's fine.
But I have 2 blues, which means I just need 2 more blues.
And also, you can just kill the hands and you'll get
Yeah, I
a bunch
can
of stuff.
easily get 2 kills.
Because like the 2 movies that disturbed me were The Babadook and
Before.
Drag Me to Hell. Or well, maybe not disturbed me, upset me because there was something in them that kind of hit too close to home, you know?
Yeah, it's like some people you might find one horror movie not scary and another person find it terrifying, and then vice versa, that the same person find another movie not terrifying and you find it terrifying.
But apparently it often comes down to traumas, I know.
Yeah, it is, and your personal feelings about things. Like I say, I can't stand eye torture.
And yet you laughed at it in hospital.
Yeah, I was very, very drunk. But probably because it looked fake then, because I think things look more fake
When you're drunk.
when I'm drunk, yes.
Like, what are your thoughts on rewatching Hospital?
No. Yeah, I'm benched this time around. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Okay, that is unfortunate. But then, like, there's other crazy ones. Like, in Nymphomaniac, I've talked about Nymphomaniac, but I don't know if I've ever mentioned, in the director's cut, which is, like, the full 5.5-hour version of Nymphomaniac, there is a home abortion sequence.
Ooh.
And apparently, when that was shown, like, for the first time at, like, a festival, like, a bunch of men in the audience fainted.
I kind of get that. Like, you know, those illegal abortions, a lot of women died back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
They were gruesome.
Yeah.
And are gruesome for anyone that still has to do them.
Like, it was gruesome watching it, I remember. It didn't make me faint, though. Like, but...
I think it just depends on your tolerance for something. I personally wouldn't want to watch one. Even a fake one, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that bit was fake. There was a lot of real sex in the movie, but, like, that wasn't a real abortion.
The opposite. Couldn't do that, like. I have hyper armor on, so I'm good right now.
Gosh, you really wanted to get away from you.
Yeah, 'cause she knew I was going to hit her.
Yeah, it's like, get away from me! Remember, keep it held.
Oh,
It's history again! Why does history come up sometimes?
I don't know.
Okay, ready? Be ready to avoid.
Oh, laser first.
Yeah, he hasn't done that before. The way you said that was sweet.
I know, I'm so weird.
It was like Snow White's Actually, you ever notice that? But like, one of the things, Snow White's such an important animated movie.
It is. Did you see the pictures of the leaked pictures of the live action Disney are doing?
No, you mentioned it, right?
They're not the 7 dwarfs anymore. They look like they're just the 7 magical men or something. Looks like.
Okay, well, you know me and the Disney remakes. I'm not like.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how I'm feeling about this one.
But with regards to the original, like her voice gets under my skin a bit.
I told you Snow White was like my least favorite Disney princess as a kid.
Maybe.
I found her insanely boring.
It was either that or Aurora, because you weren't a big fan of Aurora.
No, Cinderella.
You Cinderella?
Yeah, I liked Aurora more, I said.
And Cinderella?
Yeah.
Really? Because I thought in the past you said that you found Aurora a little...
No, I found Cinderella more boring.
Fascinating.
But Snow White is, out of all the Disney princesses ever made, Snow White is the most boring, which makes sense, because she is technically the first, which makes her the more...
She's also real innocent.
Real innocent and the more older kind of themed of what people would want to see for their kids, do you know what I mean? Like back then.
Well, it was a family thing, wasn't it? Back then. Like, it didn't have the stigma of being aimed at kids.
Actually, you know what? Only being hit once, it's fine. That's
yeah.
good.
You're doing very well still right now. So, but like, of those 3 princesses you mentioned, like the earlier ones.
Yeah, see, I think all those 3 princesses I see are also the princesses that have less personality compared to the ones acting.
But interestingly, if you were to ask me which of those 3 were my favorite, I would actually say Cinderella.
Oh, interesting. I think it might be because out of those 3, my favorite one is also the Sleeping Beauty movie.
Well, the thing is, I like Sleeping Beauty more than Cinderella.
I think if I was to rank those 3 in my favorite films as well, I would be Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and then Snow White.
Yeah, I think I'd go the same order, but the thing is, with Sleeping Beauty, like, Aurora, I think she is nice for the scene she's in, but that film really kind of isn't about her
it's
now,
actually more about Maleficent and Prince Philip, you're right.
And the fairies,
Yeah, I'm sorry, the fairies are the best.
Yeah. But I also love Sleeping Beauty because of its animation style. It's so...
I thought he stopped. It's okay, that's only my second hit.
It's so beautiful, like the film, like the artwork of that movie is insane. Like it's And it's so tragic that they lost money when they originally came out.
Yeah. That's another crypt. Ooh.
Cinderella's great too. Like, here's the thing, like...
Oh, 3 days in a row. Interesting.
I told you, didn't I, that when I was young, because of my horrible masculinity, I was like, I'm not gonna watch Disney movies where girls are the main character.
A lot of young boys were like that, I think, so I wouldn't consider...
I know, but I missed so many good movies back then because of it.
Yeah, but that was very common back then.
Like, Mulan's my favorite now. And
I would say girls were definitely more opening to watching films that were for boys and girls kind of more.
oh yeah, definitely.
Um,
And yet, you know what the exception was?
What?
When I was younger, is Alice in Wonderland.
I guess, yeah, Alice in Wonderland. I actually don't even consider Alice in Wonderland for girls. I think Alice in Wonderland is for both because it's just a fun, trippy movie.
That movie's so good. I love Alice in Wonderland.
It's actually one of my favorites.
It is one of my favorites as well.
I'd say that. I know Alice is technically a part of the Disney Princess lineup, and I don't know how. Because
Wait, didn't they take her out?
she did, people still consider her as well. Like, I don't know.
It was because they didn't have enough, I think, back then.
Maybe. She kind of still is classified as slightly to people. And
Now, we do know that she's some kind of...
like, when they make the dolls and stuff, she's included as, like, on them sometimes. But she's never included in the collector dolls. I'd say that. When they do the Princess Collection, she would have her own collector dolls, I would say. But when they do, like, those special ones where they do a theme, remember, like, that, it was, the fashion, the Disney designer theme this year, remember? And I feel I got every single one of them.
Oh, yeah.
They were like 130 each, but I actually had the entire collection. Ariel got 2 dolls because Ariel is always a massive fan favorite.
Of course.
And I got both of them. Actually, I liked the first one. A lot of people didn't like the first one. I actually did, even though she sold out, like, and but I would say the second one, the person who designed the second doll, so it was a different fashion designer for each doll.
Mm-hmm.
The one who designed the second doll was nicer.
Okay.
Second design. And Aurora got 2.
Oh.
Well, one of them was called Briar Rose, that's why they were.
Oh,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Briar Rose.
And then, like, Aurora. And I loved the first one, which was the Aurora one. And when I saw Briar Rose online, I wasn't the biggest fan, so I kind of got her near the end, which was kind of on sale recently. But actually, in person, much nicer doll in person. Because I would say the same was for, like, Pocahontas. I thought her one was much lovelier in person. And...
You know my thoughts on Pocahontas, right?
Yeah, you don't like Pocahontas.
Well, you know, it's not the worst movie in the world.
Let's get my third hit and still do that.
I just think it's quite bland compared to many of the other Disney movies. Like, but you know,
I'm not watching his health. What is his health currently?
he's nearly down.
You probably have to watch that for me. Sorry. Oh,
You did it.
I did it.
That was very anticlimactic for you.
Okay, that was a better tactic, I think. Okay, go. Talk.
All times distracting you with Disney.
Yeah.
Oh, you are kidding me. Now he's trying to seal himself away so he can escape. This will just happen again if he succeeds, and we're so close too. What should we do? Elise, chuck that sword at him as hard as you can.
Of course.
I'll unload as much dust as I can onto it in the air. We'll turn into the final shot. But then you... Trust me, do it! Chante.
She's gonna die.
Okay, but remember, you promised you'd come home. That's my little sister. Now heave that mother!
I know they're going to say mother effer at the end.
Now! I can feel the evil in the air fading. It's over. At last, it's over. This horror story will never repeat itself ever again. Chante. Blasted Chante. This isn't like you, you raving nitwit. How can you be so selfish and annoying and still... It's okay. Elise? Chante said she wasn't going to disappear. So I know she's okay. Chante's never lied to... Oh, Elise. That vial, isn't that? Oh yes, it's the medicine you gave me yesterday. Chante told me she wanted to hang on to it, but... Wait, why is it empty? Wait just a second. That medicine is made from fairy dust, isn't it? That clever idiot. Fairy? There's your theory gone.
Oh, okay, she's alive. Happy ending.
Ugh, so much smoke. Ugh. Huh? Elise? So, should I get told you so tattooed on my forehead or my hands? Chante!
I got to see this game again.
So, speaking of flawless victories and end of adventures and whatnot, even though we beat the big evil thing, I'm still a fairy. What gives? Ah, we're both still fairies due to the magic stones inside of us. We won't change back immediately. What? You gotta be kidding me. After all that, we don't change back instant-like? Well, with the source of the magic gone, the stone's influence should weaken over time. You and I will change back eventually, in theory at least. Aw, man. For a fortune teller, you ain't so good at delivering bad news.
That's it.
I think there's an after-credits scene.
So we'll just watch credits. I never want to do that again. The story was cute, I would say that. The ending was a bit anticlimactic though. They were like, we're just fairies. I get it though. It's like it wasn't a high-budget game.
No, it was an independent game.
It was an independent game, so I enjoyed it for an independent game. It was a cute. The story was cute and stuff like that. So
now a lot of it do you agree with what I was saying, that it starts out a bit hard, then once you can actually heal yourself, it gets much easier.
And then it gets hard again.
And then once you get to the final boss.
Yeah,
woo!
The boss was tricky, but I think it's just a tactic. But I think it's a tactic that suits the person playing. Because I'm pretty sure that speedrunner, the tactic suited them perfectly. It just didn't suit me.
Yeah. Well, the Dark Crystal actually ended up being really helpful.
It did, yes, in that run. But then I think the speed boots suit me more. Yes.
Oh, you're talking about when he had like the double charge. Yeah.
Like
for you, the
And I think I used the speed boots.
Oh, by the way, do you see that the pictures in the background here are of the original Japanese version?
Oh, interesting. Oh, they are.
It's quite interesting. But overall, you were happy to have played this.
I am, and the game was short. It did take me much longer because I was doing it once a month coming over here. But if you look, I think it would took me.
Well, this is technically the long slot, and I do think it
over 17 hours. It was just under 17 hours when I came.
You have to remember it includes the time that I spent.
Oh, true. But
I think you were at like 11 before I started doing my.
Yeah. So okay, let's say over 12 hours for me then technically. So
that's long enough.
It's long enough.
Several years later.
Oh,
there we go.
She's still a fucking fairy.
Are those two off at the ruins again? I think this might be automatic.
Don't think it is.
Okay. Just reading it in Japanese, you see. Yes, they mentioned something about researching new kinds of magic. Don't they get along so well now? Well, maybe, but I wish they'd stick around to help at the shop sometimes. Feeling a bit lonely? No, besides, they do come back for dinner, at least. Oh yes, what do you have planned for dinner tonight? Let's see. I was thinking of making a night-style paella. Paella? Is that a paella?
Paella? Oh god, I don't know what happened.
I don't know if that's the silent one. With blackfish and fillet of oarfish. So if you turn a silver knight shield over, you can use it as a pot that cooks the rice differently. Using ancient relics as pots and pans brings a certain something to a meal.
That's fucking weird, Elise.
Oh, but if you use a shield mushroom shell, you get a much richer taste, you know. What? No, a shield mushroom is way too bitter. I thought I said better at the beginning.
Bitter.
But you might find you enjoy the bitterness after a while.
I feel like Elise is turning into Arya.
Oh, Ira, you like the weirdest ingredients? I mean, last time... Excuse us.
Oh, I think that's automatic, maybe.
Oh, customers. Yes, welcome. What? Oh dear. A bit of hole in the wall, but it seems like an okay shop. Sis, don't be rude.
Oh no, it started again.
Excuse me, Miss Shopkeeper. But I'd like to ask you a question. you know where we can find the witch?
How did it happen again? I thought they defeated it.
So, that I think was the two girls. Do you remember at a certain point we were sent to like the top of this like tower thing?
Yes.
And there was these two other young girls. I think one of them still turned into a fairy during that time. And those two showed up eventually. Now, what's going to happen? I don't know. You may as well save it.
Yeah.
Wait, did you save it?
I pressed square. I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
We finished the game. We're never going back.
So anyway, so that was Chantelise, A Tale of Two Sisters. We finally got it done. And I had a pretty good time overall. There were some times near the end where I was like, oh god, are we ever going to finish this?
I was thinking that too. I actually was thinking today if I didn't do it today, we're done.
But anyway, we finally managed to do it, so that was fantastic. And overall, I do think it's an enjoyable game. Admittedly, I think that spike at the end is a bit much.
It was several years later, was it? Or several months?
The
after.
Yeah, but I don't know if you remember at the beginning, it took them several years to get to that village as well.
It did. So that's the thing. So the girl, so the magic in her body was still there 7 years later. So that I want to know, were the other two still fairies?
Wait, you mean the other one?
Yeah, Chantelise.
Oh no! I bet they're not.
I guess if they're in the dungeon, they couldn't be fairies because they would need.
Yeah.
One of the others to help them.
Yeah.
Defend themselves. But how come they turned back to humans, but that other girl didn't?
I think it might be a case that they need a little bit of assistance. It's probably just a case of, oh dear, we should get you like some medicine and stuff, because I can't remember the exact specifics of the world building there, but there was something to do with magic being a bit different there, I think. Anyway, folks, we're going to... this is actually the first long game, or quote-unquote long game, that we've got finished.
So just start looking for the next long game.
Yes, and we're going to decide that off of camera. But until then, this has been Eoghan, also known as Immortalium.
And this is Kathlynn.
And bye-bye!
Bye.